Oh, we're about to piss off a lot of people, and they deserve every minute of it. President Trump, bad warmonger. Israel, bad warmonger. Well, this story isn't about Israel. It's all about President Trump. So do you want the truth? Because what I'm about to tell you will blow the mainstream narrative wide open. And it's all right before your eyes, just nobody wants to connect the dots because it's my contention that they want war. Trump isn't starting a war with Iran. He's actually stopping one. Even after Iran tried to assassinate him. Even after the IAEA confirmed Iran's been blocking inspections, holding back information, and is now a global nuclear threat. Trump is stepping in to save the very people who tried to kill him. Why? Why do I state that? Because Washington's war machine wanted a tactical nuke dropped on Fordow. Trump said no and gave them 2 weeks, which, mind you, has a very specific purpose. Do you know approximately how long, and I'll keep this at a very high level, it takes to enrich uranium-60 to weapons grade 90? The details will blow your mind. This isn't warmongering. This is a man trying to stop World War III. You tired of the manipulation yet? You tired of the lies yet? If you are, make sure before we kick into the story, because when I start, I'm not going to stop. If you like just stone cold hard facts, black and white facts, and the way I present them, subscribe to the channel. Join as a member. Button's just below. Keeps these lights and cameras moving forward. The super thanks always appreciated. Because I am sick and tired of the mainstream media continually misleading you. But it's not only the mainstream media. No, it's those in Washington, D.C. too. The real warmongers, the machine. I'm not just here to break headlines for you. I'm here to help protect you. Protect this great republic of the United States of America. The system's rigged. The rules are buried. And most people have no clue where to even begin. Do you have any idea how many of my subscribers have already saved thousands by listening to what I'm about to tell you? And here's the best part. For you, it's 100% free with one phone number. I went out and searched and other ways to help you, and eventually I partnered with Chapter, a sponsor that actually fights alongside us for truth. Medicare is a disaster. Do you or someone you love need Medicare? Good luck getting through the bureaucracy, the waste, fraud, and abuse. We talk about it all the time, and it's no different. And you already know the system isn't built to help you. That's why I went out and found Chapter. They're not bots. They're real people. They're real licensed experts who go through every plan you qualify and help you make the smartest choice for you. What a novel thought, huh? The average person who works with Chapter saves $1,100 a year. Best part, again, it's completely free. No pressure, no gimmicks, just real help in a system designed to make you fail. So here's what you do. You've seen the number in front of me. One phone call, absolutely free. 805-619-5011. 805-619-5011. Don't let them bleed you for one more day. Make the call now. You trust me to bring you the truth. Now, trust me on this. Chapter, man, they're the real deal. Because in a world and a system designed to take from you, it's time to take something back. Call that number right now. But now let's get back to this video. Let's rip through the truth here. Inconvenient for most. They don't like the truth, huh? IAEA board declares Iran in breach of non-proliferation obligations. I've covered this for you, but let's go into a little bit more detail because people don't tend to listen so well. You do. Of course, the dissenters never do, right? The day after that report is filed, the day after Israel strikes Iran. Not coincidental timing. The report, actually two of them, only going to go through the highlights from the IAEA, those designed to govern over those that have nuclear power or weapons. Just put it that way, right? What did they find? And this is very specific. The analysis of all available safeguard relevant information and the lack of answers and clarification provided by Iran to the agency's questions related to 3 nuclear facilities have led the agency to conclude that these 3 locations and other possible related locations were part of an undeclared structured nuclear program carried out by Iran until the early 2000s, and that some activities used undeclared nuclear material. Okay, got it. The agency assesses that Iran retained unknown material and or heavily contaminated equipment and other assets arising from the former undeclared structure nuclear program. Okay. So they made some uranium. They have equipment. It was undeclared and it was saved. There's brief overview, right? The agency has no credible indications of an ongoing undeclared structured nuclear program of the type described above. And why? Because they're not allowed to visit the sites. Their inspectors have been removed. Information is not forthcoming. And Iran seizes on that one statement, and I'm going to play the clip for you. However, repeated statements by former high-level officials in Iran related to Iran having all capabilities to manufacture nuclear weapons continue to provide concerns in this area. While safeguarded enrichment activities are not forbidden in and of themselves, the fact that Iran is the only non-nuclear weapon state in the world that is producing and accumulating uranium enriched to 60% remains a matter of serious concern. Okay, we got it, right? 60% uranium. So Iran seized on that one sentence. The agency has no credible indications of ongoing undeclared structured nuclear program of the type described above. But the Director General says why he can't make that declaration.
There is this competition about who is wrong or right about the time that would be needed. Certainly, it was not for tomorrow, maybe not a matter of years. I would there be perhaps more serious about this, and I don't think it was a matter of years. But this is speculation. Why? I go again to the beginning of my comment. These things we don't know, because if there was some activity which was clandestine or hidden or away from our inspectors, we couldn't know.
So it's pretty clean cut, in my opinion, there, right? He just said it himself. He can't declare it because he can't see it. And trust me, I get comments from all across the United States, actually all across the world. And I'm going to take those statements because they choose not to educate themselves. You see, look at Iran said that they said they have no program, but they don't listen to everything. They're just like the mainstream media, sound bites to propagate towards, well, war, when they say they fight against it. I'm going to ignore the comments this point forward. While Iran continues to cooperate with the agency on matters of routine safeguards implementation in a number of respects, as outlined in this report, its cooperation with the agency has been less than satisfactory. In particular, Iran has repeatedly either not answered or not provided technically credible answers. And it's important we understand this background so you understand the impact of what Trump just did. All the naysayers on Trump, he's a warmonger, he's trying to start a war. You know what? You're wrong. The agency's questions and has sanitized locations as listed, blah, blah, blah. Extensive consultations and exchanges, most recently as of May 28th of 2025, included at a high level between the agency and Iran, have so far not resulted in the agency receiving anything of any substance, of any proof. Therefore, at present, the agency concluded that Iran did not declare nuclear material and nuclear-related activities at 3 undisclosed or undeclared locations in Iran. And they list those locations. Because of the lack of technically credible answers provided by Iran, the agency is not in a position to determine whether the material at these 3 undeclared locations in Iran has been consumed, mixed with other declared material, or is still outside of safeguards. Unlike all other states with the CSA, Iran is the only country that is not meeting its obligations related to the implementation of the Modified Code 3.1. Contrary to the established practices of all such states, Iran's the only one. This is not a U.S. institution. This institution reports all their findings to the UN, right? The rapid accumulation of highly enriched uranium is of serious concern and adds to the potential complexities of the issues described in the report, which the agency cannot ignore, given the potential proliferation implications. Unless and until Iran assists the agency in resolving these outstanding issues, the agency will not be in a position to provide assurance that Iran's nuclear program is exclusively peaceful. You can maybe understand a little bit why this resulted in a battle of war, huh? Because who do they despise more than anyone else? There's two people, Israel and the U.S. So Israel responds to the report. Iran says, look, he said there is nothing. Now he said it in one sentence because he couldn't see anything. Talk about propagators of misinformation. Verification and monitoring in the Islamic Republic of Iran. Here's a further report, and this is the final technical report I'm going to do before we get into Trump's responses that will now all make crystal clear sense. The agency's GCPOA-related verification and monitoring has been seriously affected by the cessation of implementation by Iran of its nuclear-related commitments under the JCPOA. The situation has been exacerbated by Iran's subsequent decision to have all of the agency's surveillance and monitoring equipment removed. But the world ignores that. That's fine. They can do what they want. The agency has lost continuity of knowledge in relation to the production and current inventory of centrifuges, rotors, bellows, heavy water, and UOC, which it will not be able to resource as a result of not having been able to perform JCPOA-related verification and monitoring activities for more than 4 years. They don't have a bomb. How do you know? How do you know, geniuses? Tell me. Please. I'd love to see your evidence. Are you on site and viewing all the inspection areas? Because you have access? Give me a break. It has also been more than 4 years since Iran stopped provisionally applying its additional protocol. Therefore, throughout this period, Iran has not provided updated declarations, and the agency has not been able to conduct complementary access to any sites and other locations in Iran. The significant increased production and accumulation of highly enriched uranium by Iran, the only non-nuclear weapon state to produce such nuclear, they're the only ones producing it, that doesn't have a weapon. Yeah, stay out of Iran's mix. Maybe that was an old report. No, de-restricted June 11th of 2025, written on May 31st of 2025. But let's ignore facts, huh? Love you, some of these folks on social media. Just they won't do the research. Iran turns against anti-Israel UN after it condemned illegal nuclear enrichment. Whoa, why is Iran so mad? Remember, they just told you didn't do anything, right? Oh, but you're still upset. The regime is furious at the IAEA for declaring Iran to be in breach of its nuclear non-proliferation obligations last Thursday. Many failures to uphold its obligations. But okay, you're going to get upset at them. Because you know you got outed. You know now you've been reported on, and the world now knows, and they reacted. Israel reacted fiercely. Was launched on Friday, the day after the IAEA condemned Iran. So Trump also had this information, mind you, right? But what did Trump do after knowing all this? Because he knew all this. Did he bomb him? He's a warmonger. That's what I hear screamed everywhere. So let's start with some statements now. And then you'll really see exactly what this man is trying to do.
When the president said a few weeks away, did he mean obtaining enough enriched uranium to start building a weapon? Or did he mean Iran is a few weeks away from completing the production of a weapon?
I'm glad you asked that, Weija. It's an important question, and it's one, frankly, the media has been getting wrong. Let's be very clear. Iran has all that it needs to achieve a nuclear weapon. All they need is a decision from the supreme leader to do that. And it would take a couple of weeks to complete the production of that weapon, which would, of course, pose an existential threat, not just to Israel, but to the United States and to the entire world. And that is something that the entire world, including countries like Russia, is in agreement with. That
Okay, you heard her statement there, right? Social media blew up.
She has no idea what she's talking about.
Well, now you know why she does know what she's talking about. And the White House knows what they're talking about. Because it was published. U.S. and U.K. concerned Russia may be assisting Iran with nuclear weapons program reports. So very well, they already have the warheads. It's all about material, right? They have the technology, at least from what's being reported. Russia has helped them. Two countries believe Iran may be working with experienced Russian specialists to streamline its manufacturing process as it grows its stockpiles of enriched uranium and prepares to make its own nuclear weapons. Don't read facts though, folks. Alarm in UK and US over possible Iran nuclear... Oh, wait, that's right. All you Biden fans out there. He was the one who announced it first. Just so you know, I mean, you could blame Trump all you want, but I know history is so inconvenient for so many of you. You tell my aggravation level is up like threat level 1 right now. In sharing nuclear secrets with Iran, Putin may have crossed his own red line, but then we get the statement, Trump, Putin on the same page about Iran's nuclear weapon capabilities, White House says. Trump and Putin have agreed that Iran must not obtain access to nuclear weapons. Well, that's a little contrary if Russia's trying to help them with one, I guess. But they needed more bombs for Ukraine, so that was the deal that was allegedly made. And hence we have a disaster, of which Trump has to attempt to mitigate, while he's negotiating with the man who will potentially have to allow for an attack so there isn't a counterstrike. Imagine the complexities of this, but all you keyboard warriors out there, please continue to decide how Trump's making a mistake. I'm sure you could do a better job, right? Trump's been resolute on one point, and I am resolute on this point, mind you. Just making my declaration for you. President Trump has always been clear. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. If you don't understand that by now, then I can't help you. And they shouldn't. Period. But next statement from the White House.
regarding the ongoing situation in Iran, I know there has been a lot of speculation amongst all of you in the media regarding the president's decision-making and whether or not the United States will be directly involved. In light of that news, I have a message directly from the president, and I quote, "Based on the fact that there's a substantial chance of negotiations that may or may not take place with Iran in the near future, I will make my decision whether or not to go within the next 2 weeks."
2 weeks. So you know that they've pulled all monitoring devices. You know that you can no longer surveil what they're doing. You know that they already have 60% uranium. And now you put out another deadline. After stopping on a first potential wave of attacks, fighting back, and I'm going to show you, people within your own administration, how Trump backed out of nuking Iran because only a tactical nuclear weapon would destroy Fordow bunker. Wow, that's inconvenient for all you people who say Trump's the warmonger, huh? Because he has the machine behind him pushing him. Come on, man, we can do it. We got to use this weapon, man. Come on, it's right here. We can destroy that thing because, well, we're not so certain those simple bunker busters will work. Did Trump do it? No. He gave another 2 weeks as negotiations allegedly are still going on, because if he was to push that button, man, what does Russia and China do? But he's the warmonger. Israel's the aggressor right now. Now it's bigger than Israel, folks. Much bigger. Stay with what Trump tells you. Not what is reported, but the Wall Street Journal reported that the plans are out and, that it's already been given to them. Of course they are, because they're part of the machine. They're pushing for war and pushing for war. There's only one man stopping it right now. Russia comes out, warned today that the use of any tactical nuclear weapons in Iran would be catastrophic. You have validation everywhere. That's exactly what Trump was told to do, and he didn't do it. China seeks relevance, blames U.S. for Iran's illicit activities. China's blaming us for Iran enriching uranium. Here's their rationale. The Global Times, which acts as a mouthpiece for the Communist Party, lamented that the mere fact that the U.S. is contemplating involvement is itself a very dangerous signal, and blamed Washington squarely for the conflict. And why? It did not identify Iran's insistence of enriching uranium far beyond the amount required for any civilian use and being the only country to do so, nor did it condemn Iran's years of calling for the destruction of Israel and the U.S. for that case. Now, of course not. The U.S. bears responsibility for the Iranian nuclear issue. If Washington had not unilaterally withdrawn from the JCPOA, and if the agreement had been smooth and effectively implemented, the issue very likely would not have deteriorated to its current state. Talking about current events, the problem is President Trump withdrew from it in 2018. So China, same thing to you. Who are the propagators of war? Who are the aggressors? Trump pushes back on a report. He approved attack plan for Iran because if he approved it, it would have been done. Hence why he's pushing back. Again, leaking information to the U.S. populace so that he appears as the warmonger, hiding who really is, the people pushing him to launch a tactical nuke.
As for correspondence between the United States and the Iranians, I can confirm that correspondence has continued. As you know, we were engaged with 6 rounds of negotiations with them in both indirect and direct ways. As for
Again, that's such an inconvenient truth for everyone. He's not trying to negotiate. He wants to cause war. No, he wants to stop war. Donald Trump gets ticked off about a leak on possible attack on Iran, and I don't blame him one bit, and either do I. Because when you're trying to stop a war that envelops Iran, Russia, China, you got to be damn careful. But everybody on the inside is trying to set off the tripwire to try to derail his efforts. Oh, yeah, he's just worried because he doesn't want another Libya. He's got a primal fear about it. Oh, these reports are laughable. But there's a reason he stalled for 2 weeks. It was a message to Iran. I know what you have. I know what you're doing. We're at the negotiating table. Don't make me push the button. Don't let the warmongers behind me win. Because if they do, the face of the world changes forever. President Moll's weather bunker busters can destroy Iranian nuclear site. Trump has signaled that he wants 2 weeks to decide whether or not to strike Iran. Very critical element. He's not fully convinced the U.S. massive ordnance penetrator bombs, better known as bunker busters, will effectively destroy Fordow. Oh, but they had another plan for Trump. They stated in the same article, Donald Trump is believed to have backed down from military action against Iran, paving the way for diplomatic talks, after realizing that a nuclear strike may have been the only way to completely destroy the buried Fordow enrichment plant in Iran. The president is said to have told defense officials it would only make sense for the U.S. to join Israel in striking Iran if the bunker buster, non-nuclear, bombs were guaranteed to be able to destroy the key enrichment site, but they wouldn't give him that confirmation. Officials were said to have been told that the U.S. would have to soften the ground with conventional bombs before dropping a tactical nuke from a B-2 bomber to completely destroy the site. So before I tell you why that 2 weeks was so significant, a simple question: is Trump the peacemaker or the problem? It's a one-word answer. The war machine, the mainstream media, wants to make him the problem. He's the issue. We're not here. You don't see us. We're just behind the scenes trying to start the next world war. Of course you are. What is uranium enrichment? And how is it used for nuclear bombs? A scientist explains, well, we can make that a little simpler, knowing that Trump has now said 2 weeks. According to the IAEA, remembering, Iran already possesses uranium enriched to 60%. 60% uranium is very close to weapons grade. Most of the work is already done. From 60 to 90%, the final enrichment step is much quicker. So maybe Iran hasn't done it yet. Maybe they have. We don't know. But Trump is calling the bluff. How long would it take to change 60% to 90%? Could be done in as little as 1 to 2 weeks. Because Iran already has the advanced centrifuges necessary to do so, the necessary advanced centrifuge cascades for those scientists out there. So now doesn't the whole story take a whole different shape? For those of you out there who love to throw comments out of who the aggressor is, welcome to what research looks like. Welcome to what fact-based reporting looks like, because I used your own sources against you. It wasn't that difficult. No, I didn't take my information from Fox News or CNN or MSNBC. No, I took it from the reports of those you declare are the ones who are actually trying to propagate peace. My friends, case closed. Now what say you, my audience, because you are what truly matters to me. I love you all. Until next time, Godspeed and God bless. Justice Knight, signing out.